Sirach 25:7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue, a man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. Shalom, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoimla, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rechaha Kodash. And double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. GMS, they by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. I just want to say the water to all the Akim and Akhwa that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yah Hanan Nawaf, just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And it says things are pretty crappy. This is a CNN story. Things are pretty crappy. 1 in 4 U.S. households are living paycheck to paycheck. That's 25%, of the public. Or, I guess you figure it's 350 million people in America from what they say. Esau, he's, you can't really believe none of his numbers. But, either way, they're talking about the so-called blacks are 12% of the population. All that crazy little shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, out of 350 million people, you probably got maybe 100 some change million, 200 million tops. I doubt, that's actually working, full time like that. But let's just say it's 100 million. That would be 25 million people that's living paycheck to paycheck, right? So now you're about to you got the government shutdown. That's kicking in on the asses. People didn't even come back really from COV19. They got those stimulus checks. They ran through that money. Spent a whole bunch of money. Inflation, little shit went up. Things have been going up ever since. Shit's not going down. And you got a lot of credit card debt. You got people that's not even, with the shutdown. Of course, those people are not even getting paid. They're not even living check to check because they ain't getting no damn check. You got car insurance. It's been skyrocketing. Car payments have been skyrocketing. House and rent, all this shit has been just groceries, medicine, you name it. Everything is just completely unaffordable for people these days, man. And I got this other article too. Let me show you this article that I had sitting here. It says record 40% of young women want to flee the U.S. And that's a poll, right? Why do they want to flee the U.S.? Because they're not getting, the perks that they used to get. It's not what it used to be. A group of women used to be able to go out to a bar and they didn't even have to take no money with them. Men would be all clobbering them, trying to buy them a drink, trying to get them dinner. Let me pay for this for you guys. Let me send a round over. Let me do this. Let me do that. Now these clubs, it's just a bunch of damn women in these clubs, just these little bars. And it's just woman night because no dudes are showing up. Dudes are not standing there hoping and holding no damn doors open for women no more. You got the passport bros, motherfuckers is trying to get the fuck out of here because they understand that you're not going to find a decent woman here. Now, don't get me wrong. It's not all of them, but they're not taking the chance. It's like it's such a big thing as far as like, your red pill shit that's going on with dudes actually got all these podcasts and women too, seeing what's going on and they're seeing it to not be worth it. But men are better. They're better off in this economy. Don't get me wrong. There's some men, hey, they live in check to check too. But guess what? He can deal far better than a woman because women are emotional. They are the weaker vessel. And a lot of the times they're the ones with the children, See all that, the food stamps and see everything is about to kick in where they're going to pretty much come down with we got a solution for you when it's overall that market of Beauty and the Beast. Overall, that's what this is all leading up to. But I just wanted to just show that article as well, which I might do something on it separately. But, the women are the weaker vessel. They need to sit their asses down. You go to these other countries and you're being watched. You're being just fucking stalked. They stalking your ass as soon as you get into the airport or wherever the fuck you get into. Because people be, it's nothing for these men to sit there. They look like they might be collegiate. They might look like a businessman and they sitting on a bench and they just, just on a cell phone telling their partner outside, like, yeah, she's wearing this, and this. She's, pulling a brown bag. You know what I'm saying? And she looks, and next thing you know, you in a van. You know, you seen the movie Taken. They got Taken 1, 2, and 3, I think. Taken. Your ass, you know, you in a van in a foreign country and you don't know nobody. You don't know the language like that. You don't know the area like that. And you taking your ass, see what, yeah. Another lesson. Let's get into some of this article. Okay, it says, now this is talking about, this is a guy here. He says that his name is Austin. He didn't want to give his last name. Austin H. Can't wait to buy a house and start a family. But right now, the 34-year-old is barely getting by. What did we just read? Hey, a man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. See, you can't have joy in no children here. You're not going to be able to raise no. Say he actually starts this family. I mean, come on, bro. It don't fare well really like that. You know, children are joyful, but when you got to get up and work 2-3 jobs, how are you really going to enjoy them? When your rent's going up, you got to worry about how they're going to eat. You got to try and keep some dental insurance, health insurance, pay for daycare and do all this shit. No, Esau done made it crazy as hell here, man, for people to try and raise a family. But see, now Esau is reaping what he's sown. You know, that Galatians 6 and 7, he wants the so-called white race to repopulate, but he has made it so hard on his own people to repopulate that they're not doing it now. These women don't want nothing to do with no fucking babies, man. Especially this new generation. Shit. How you about to bring the so-called white race back when you got women out here that have no problem taking a morning after pill? They don't want nothing to do with that shit, especially the Democratic ones. You know, you got the Republican ones that if they can afford. And even those are taking the morning after pill or taking the asses to a Planned Parenthood. They're having abortions too, you know, or just not having sex at all. That's another thing. That's the reason why a lot of people, motherfuckers, be having high blood pressure and you know, all this mental shit going on because motherfucker got too much built up in them. You know, so you know, there was a time so you know, you can come to the crib, man, shit, knock your woman off as a man anyway, and shit, release some stress of the day. Man, men not doing that no more. Women not doing that, you know, because women not supposed to be working these stressful ass jobs anyway. But at least, you know what I'm saying, if they was going to work and they was, you know, really they shouldn't be at no damn work or no job. But this is Esau's kingdom. Shit, even when women didn't go to work like that, they had stressful days. You know what I'm saying? She get a little bit of, you know, a little rod. Shit, she good to go. Shit, she back up washing clothes. You know what I'm saying? Baking some shit or something like that. Now here you go. She got 2-3 jobs. She stressed as hell. She don't want nothing to do with you unless you paying some bills for her. And it's just done got rough, man. It's not a good situation. It says Austin is living paycheck to paycheck and saving almost no money. One of millions of Americans struggling to make ends meet in an increasingly unaffordable economy. That's true, man. Hey, shit, I'm on the dolo. I'm by my motherfucking self, you know what I'm saying? And I can see the prices of the things that I normally would get, you know what I'm saying, are, have gone up at least shit 15 to 25%. You know what I'm saying? I can say shit that I used to, you know, get weekly for $50 is damn show like 75 to 80 now, almost a damn 100. You know what I'm saying? So shit done pretty much almost double. So I can imagine a family of 4, a family of 5. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so it says, he says worse. The family-owned construction business he works at is shutting down. I am going to be unemployed in the next month or 2 with no safety net, said Austin, who declined to share his last name. An estimated 24% of U.S. households are living paycheck to paycheck so far in 2025, according to the Bank of America Institute analysis released this week. The bank's researchers combed through internet data on its tens of millions of consumers and tracked how much income customers spent on necessities like housing, gasoline, groceries, childcare, and utilities. They found that 24% of the households spent over 95% of their income on those necessities. See? So where do you think the rest of the money is going? Into the gas tank to try and get back and forth to work, you know? 5% left of your check, shit. What? You seeing women, you know what I'm saying? That's the reason why the damn wig is so popular. You know, women not going out. I can remember when COVID-19 went down, though. There was a lot of women there were articles on, basically a lot of women, they just started to just do their own nails, which they should have been doing anyway. Painting their own toes, a couple of their homegirls get together and have these little, let's make each other pretty parties, which I don't know why they weren't doing that before. Here you go. You got aunties that know how to do hair, girls in the house that know how to do hair, little girls, you know what I'm saying? Like 6, 7 years old can do damn hair, paint damn nails, you know what I'm saying? Do little stuff like that. There was a time when women used to do, but guess what? All that pampering, all that going to the spas, all them places is closed and them places is shuttering. People not doing shit like that no more, man. All that going out to eat shit. All that, let's go to you know how much it costs to go to the movies now? The ones that are still open, that didn't cave when COVID went down, because a lot of them bitches closed up and never opened back up neither. But the ones that's open, shit, you spend $100, man, just going out, a couple of fucking sodas, a bucket of fucking popcorn, and the tickets, a box of damn jujus, your ass through. Anyway, let's get a little more. But we're witnessing the fall of our enemies, man. So we applaud this and we pray for this, man. Even though things may get rough for us, but guess what? We have to go through some roughness to actually come out on the better side of this thing, man. The rewards are going to be far better. And then at the same time, too, but the Lord said that, his servant shall eat, his servant shall drink. And you go into the situation with the Israelites being in Egypt, the plagues that the Egyptians was going through, they wasn't affecting the Israelites, right? So now in this day and time, 2/3 of Jake, Israelites, they're just gonna, they're gonna suffer because they're just wicked as hell and don't want nothing to do with the Lord. But the elect, men and women of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, they're gonna be taken care of, man. So we're not to be worried about any of this stuff, But in the meanwhile, we have to pray that these things happen, because this is the fall of and we gotta prophesy against this kingdom, man. Right? Okay, so it says, Bank of America, they found that 24% of the households spent over 90% of their income on those necessities, leaving little to nothing left over for the nice to have things like going out to a dinner or taking vacations, let alone savings, right? Austin, who has a master's degree, see, here you go, in fine arts, and he's applied to roughly 1,000 jobs over the past year, everything from teaching to construction with no luck. That shit is gone. The mirth is gone. The grinding, matter of fact, the scriptures talks about that grinding shall cease, man. The grinding is low. Let's get Ecclesiastes. I think that's chapter 12. Let's see what verse it is. Let's start from verse 1. It's a lot. Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth. So we're to remember the Lord early, man. While the evil days come not. Because see, the evil days are upon us. Nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And that grinding, it goes off into the jobs, man. The rustling and bustling, I see people in the morning, they getting up, they doing their thing, and they're actually a lot more impatient than they've ever been. Because, people just stay one-track mind. They're impatient as hell. They got so much shit on their mind. They don't know what to do. You look over to your right or to your left. What's going on now? You look over to your right, your left, while you at a stoplight, motherfucker got a big-ass frown on their face, mouth poked out, especially the woman. No one's looking happy. No one's looking joyful. I just be riding along, you know what I'm saying, man? I'm listening to a lesson, and, every stoplight I get to, I'm trying to read my scriptures, Because, I like to do that. I get to a stoplight. Hey, I'm I'm trying to at least read a verse. I'm reading in some book. I'm trying to get a verse in each stoplight, type of deal. So, I'm just enjoying my morning, have my little coffee, tea or whatever. But that grinding, man, is low, man. That work. Shit, hey, people, and this is how Esau, he's going to get people with that universal basic income. He's going to get everybody with that chip. He's going to get everybody. If this dude, well, I don't know if he's going to do it. He might just to try and get away from these Epstein files, but he's talking about giving up $2,000 to each American citizen, whatever. But that's only going to drive shit even more higher. The inflation is going to go crazy if you give out that amount of money, man. Like, where the fuck you getting all this money from? The debt done went from 38 trillion in 2 months to 39 trillion. So you moving $1 trillion per month damn near in debt. AI taking over all the damn jobs, these and people fighting over, regular, just, little part-times, part-time fucking restaurant jobs and shit like that now, man. They might have a we're hiring sign in the damn window, but actually they're not even fucking hiring. And then it talks about the music shall be brought low. The Apostles was bringing out at camp this past Saturday, and I seen that article too. I didn't even go into it. What it's talking about, for the first time since the 1990s, I think in almost 40 years, a hip-hop song hasn't hit the top 40, I think. They said that shit is unprecedented. Anyway, let's see what else is in the article. I don't want to keep this long. But hey, homeboy struggling. He said he applied for who applies for 1,000 jobs? Man, look, in my whole entire life, I don't think I've applied for, I don't even think I've applied for 50 jobs. Because generally, once I, kind of start working somewhere, I get there, the pay is all right, and they all right. You know what I'm saying? I stick around for a little bit, I've had moments where I've had a second job, little shit, little side hustles and stuff like that. That's the best thing to have, though, is a side hustle. The apostles, they even was talking about that. But I even heard of the beloved elder Malcolm in Chicago. He was talking about that in this past weekend. Well, he was like, shit, he can't even get on the brother's head no more, about not having a job or a hustle. Because he's like, shit, frankly, there are no jobs and no hustles really like that no more. This shit is and if you have a job, you should be thankful, because scripture says if a man doesn't work, neither shall he eat, man. You need a damn job to handle business. You might be living check, because see, paycheck to paycheck for us, we're living off we're about our daily bread anyway. That's it. So paycheck to paycheck, we've been doing that. Shit. And we can throw a few dollars back, you know what I'm saying? Because money is a defense, you know what I'm saying? In case you get you need a car repair or anything like that. See, a person like this guy right here, these people, this 95% of their funds going towards just bills, just think if they blow a tire. Just think if they need an alternator. Just think if they need a starter, a battery. Man, and that shit done got expensive, man. The parts to a car, shit that you used to just be able to go and get for a couple of dollars, man, that shit is crazy now. And especially if you don't know how to do the work yourself. If somebody else, if you got to pay for labor, man, a simple brake job could throw your whole shit for a loop, man. If you live in paycheck to paycheck, man. Okay, but it says, to be 34 and living paycheck to paycheck with no savings, things are pretty crappy right now, he said. Austin is supporting his partner. Oh, hell no. What partner? What do you see when they say partner? And you're talking about children. But, these Edomites, when they say partner, he could be talking about his man friend, and them adopting some children. Because, they ain't going to. And that's what I'm thinking it's more likely is. Because when they say that partner shit, but, that could be some politically correct shit for CNN. A lot of these news stories, news companies, they try and avoid certain wording so they don't offend the trans community, so to speak. Just crazy as hell. This place needs to die. Anyway, he's supporting his partner right now, a veterinary student, and worries about all that veterinary shit, man. Motherfuckers is about to be eating their damn pets. All this damn, trying to take care of some fucking... Esau is killing off all the damn animals. Fucking animals are going extinct because of y'all asses, man. You want to be a vet. The fuck out of here, man. Salakia for the Salakia for the vetting, the venting, God damn it. Okay, and worries about how the two of them will pay off his student debt on top of all their other expenses. Yup, all that going on, y'all, that shit is nothing now. We want to own a house and start a family, but I don't know how we will ever get our feet under ourselves. The Bank of America report is evidence of a K-shaped economy where affluent Americans are faring far better than those at the bottom. Oh yeah, they're the only ones. You got a 1% to 2%, maybe about, let's just say maybe 10% of Americans. We know the top 1%, they doing excellent. You 5% in that range, you doing well, But you get off into that, motherfuckers is not doing good. Middle class is gone, all that shit. Hey, them people, I can remember, it's people that's moved our way, into, our zip code, so to speak, that never would even ventured here. Hitting the gas fast on the freeway if they had to pass through this shit. Now they done moved in, you know what I'm saying? Because middle class, they was making $100,000, $200,000, all that look. Shit hit. They ran through them 401ks and had to, pull out all their savings and do all this different shit. And now they asses are struggling, man. And those jobs are gone. That shit is not coming back. It's not coming back, man. And Trump not making shit no better. Okay, it says, many are struggling to get by, even as President Donald Trump dismisses affordability concerns as a con job, conjured up by Democrats based on fake polls. See, he doesn't want to admit that shit is done. So he's lying to the people. Right? It says, but the rate of increase in households living paycheck to paycheck has slowed significantly this year. And while there is little change this year for middle to high income households, the share of lower income households living paycheck to paycheck has jumped from 27% in 2023 to 29%, according to Bank of America. So Trump, yeah, people starting to see through the lies this nigga telling. Higher income and lower income households are living in two different worlds. Joe Wadworth, economist at the Bank of America Institute, told CNN. You damn right they are. And that's where you're going to have them class wars come in. Damn civil war. A growing wage gap. The problem is that paychecks among lower income households are often not keeping up with prices. Nope, it's not. Especially now that inflation has reaccelerated. After tax wages increased about 2% in October, year over year among middle income consumers, Bank of America found. That's below the 3% inflation rate as of September. Wage growth for lower income Americans is falling even farther behind. Their after-tax wages increased just 1% year over year. By contrast, high-income wages jumped 4%, safely outpacing the increase in the cost of living. Wadford said the wage growth gap between high and low income Americans hasn't been this high since 2016. Says we're getting nowhere. For millennials like Austin, that gap is even bigger. Wages have inched up just 1% for low income millennials, compared with 6% for high income. Yeah, we work full time and have degrees, and we're getting nowhere, Austin said. Gregory Dacko, chief economist, said the large number of households living paycheck to paycheck underscores like deepening affordability crisis caused by 5 years of price hikes that have outpaced income gains. Yeah, shit going up, but your money not going up. People not getting no raises, man. For the broader economy, the risk is that many families struggling to get by and worried about their jobs opt to spend much more cautiously. So that means that what? Businesses go out of business. No one is out here splurging. Matter of fact, I seen, generally it's every year. You go to places like Walmart after, let's say like for instance, this Halloween, right? And they have, the candy, you know what I'm saying? They might 25% off after the Halloween. then they'll take it up to 50% off, 75% off. Man, motherfuckers, hey, that motherfuckers that wasn't buying no goddamn Halloween candy and shit to be dishing out to no fucking kids. You ain't hear about nobody talking about no damn costume parties and shit like that. What was that, Party City? Remember Party City? All them damn Party Cities went out of business because the mirth is gone. No fucking body is partying. Remember Party City used to be a big ass spot for a damn Halloween party. Everybody was going to that motherfucker getting balloons, all kinds of decorations, getting, getting little costumes and shit. You know what I'm saying, man? That shit, you ain't hear about no office parties and all these big extravagant, nah, man, that damn candy is sitting in Walmart still right now, man. Here you go, middle of the month. Normally that shit will be gone week 1 after Halloween. That shit be on sale. People go in there and grab all that damn candy and shit, man. That shit was expensive as hell. People was complaining about that, how expensive the Halloween candy was. Like, for real. That, and then chocolate that went up with the tariffs. Most of the candy got to do with some chocolate. Anyway, though, man. Yeah, this place is doomed. I don't want to keep it much longer, but hey. The mirth is gone. The grinding is ceasing. We're witnessing the fall of our enemies, and we applaud it, man. All praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai B'Shem Rakach, man. That's pretty much. I don't even want to go too much more further because it's a nice long article. They got a couple of other bullet points here. They got we're getting nowhere. The next bullet point is subprime auto loan troubles. Yeah, people. I just seen a beloved brother. What's that? The repo. He done the repo lesson. The motherfuckers getting their cars repoed. People not paying car payments, man. It's people trying to hide them cars out, not knowing that them bitches got trackers on them. Now, some people know how to get the damn tracker off or know how to, get around it, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But if the car is encaged or locked into a garage, so to speak, it's nothing that those repo guys can do anyway, because they can't just break into your damn garage, type of deal. But if that motherfucker is sitting at a Family Dollar, or if you done pulled up somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Because they can see if the car moving. You done pull that bitch up. You in you trying to do a Hub Grub or some damn Uber Eats, and you done park that motherfucker at a McDonald's parking lot trying to go in to get some food to deliver to somebody to try and get some money to get the payment up, and them motherfuckers will pull right off in there, man, and swoop underneath that bitch and yank your shit, and you running up the street chasing your car, man. Because some of these dudes is experts, man. They got camera works on the fucking trucks and shit because they know that's a dangerous job. You can get fucked up, man. There was a lady here. It was like, I don't know, it ain't been a full year. Well, yeah, lady, she ended up, dude came to repo her shit, man. She was busting that gun at his ass, man. And they arrested her ass. Anyway, but subprime auto loan troubles, man, yeah, I wouldn't even try and get a damn car loan. That, you out your mind. You got car payments as much as $1,000 now, man. That's crazy. You might as well go get you a hoopty, man. Go get you a damn hoopty and call it a day. But that was pretty much it on the article. It was a little bit more to it, but said Vanessa Jones, 65-year-old grandmother living in Davenport, Iowa, took on a second nursing job 2 years ago because she couldn't make ends meet. Goddamn, bitch, you said, Salakia, she's 65. So that, Esau, he gone. And you know what? This is, again, this sounds like some Edomite shit, because it's these Edomites that's really suffering like that. That's when stories really get, because Jake been suffering, Jake been going through a lot of shit. But they make it seem as if it's news when so-called white people get to struggling like this. But guess what? You Edomites, man, you worked our grandparents and our ancestors, man, you worked them to the bone, man. They fell over in the field, literally. Literally. All they loved ones can do was pick them up and drag them off to the side and couldn't even bury them right off. They couldn't even, it wasn't no, Paw died, and we taking the rest of the day. No, you had to finish out your shift, picking the rest of that goddamn cotton. Then at the end of the night, you got to grieve. You crying in the field. So we don't give a fuck about no 65-year-old Edomites working a second job to try and make ends meet, goddamn it. I pray your ass had to work 5 jobs. And your ass still can't make ends meet. Says the cost of living is way too high. My savings have been depleted. See? I haven't tapped into my retirement, but that looks like the next step. Well, shit, you might as well go ahead, because you know, your ass gonna fall over somewhere at a job. Jones, the primary caregiver for her 2 grandchildren, rough times, was recently diagnosed with cancer and wound up with astronomical medical bills, facing $85,000 in medical debt. So she's done. She gonna die in that debt, unless she hit the lottery. She hit the big game or something. The people claiming prices are lower are not actually buying their own groceries or trying to find cheapest place to get their car fixed, she said. They need to walk in our shoes. Well, guess what? Your own people don't give a fuck about you. Because these are these Edomites that's hoarding all of the wealth, man. Here you go, you got them up. What the fuck you gonna do with $1 trillion? The elders was talking about that the other night. The Dallas count. Why do you need $1 trillion? Motherfucker sitting on, fucking Rothschild sitting on, man, ain't no telling how many trillions. Ain't no telling how many trillions, bro. That's just one family. So you got a couple of families of Edomites that's just running the entire planet, don't give a fuck about the rest of their people. So you know they don't care nothing about you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You hear the siren in the backdrop, and that motherfucker right across the block right here. I don't see no smoke. I'm standing right here. What this bitch about to stop at? Oh, that motherfucker stopped right here in the front of the house, basically on the other block. That might be homeboy. You know what I mean? Always got some shit going on over there. Let me walk up a little bit. Be nosy. But nah, you know, but I do smell a little something though. But yeah, man. Hey, Esau kingdom is falling. And the brothers all, always say too, when you hear those sirens, those are like signs, man. Signs from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This place is burning. The scriptures just I forgot. No, it was another article today too, where they minted the very last penny. Today, that motherfucker gonna be worth some money. It was a guy talking about people collecting pennies and shit, and that the pennies have gone up, because they're about to. I might do a lesson on that, but they was talking about how it costs 4 cents to make 1 penny, which is stupid as all hell. But they minted the last penny today. So now, what they was asking a bunch of retailers like McDonald's, Targets and Walmarts and things like that, like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna round off the money? So basically, I think it said, like, say for instance, you owe $10. Say your bill is $10.22, right? They're just gonna basically round it off to $10.20. But if your shit is $10.23, they're gonna charge you 2 more cents. They're gonna round your shit off to $10.25. I'm looking at this shit like these motherfuckers is about to rob people blind, man. Because, them small tops, they're notorious for I forgot what they call it, but it's like slicing salami. They'll take like 2 cents here, 3 cents there, a nickel here, nickel there. I can remember when I used to work at this place. Matter of fact, it was for some small tops. Had got some raises. You know what I'm saying? They give you the little bullshit raise or whatever. And I noticed, and it's kind of crazy. I don't know why. It's just shit like that just bothers me. It's just something that I've always kind of noticed. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed that. I'm like, nah, these motherfuckers is clipping me for like I don't even know how. I think it was like 3 cents, but I caught it. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, then I asked a few more people, and they're like, yeah, my shit like that too. And it seemed like it may be, and you got these people that they act as if you're fussing, or why are you being so uptight? It's only 2 cents, it's only 3 cents. But these motherfuckers is getting everybody, like 500 or so employees. Imagine, it don't seem like a lot, but if you hitting 500 employees for, let's say, a 3 cent, a nickel per employee, that should add up. That should add up over a year, right? And I can remember the last job that I worked before I worked this one that I'm at right now, this plantation that I'm at now, which is beautiful. And I was kind of thinking like, the Lord blessed me with this one, and it's a lot less stressful. Because, the last job that I was at, they kind of put me through the ringer. Because I don't even know. It was just, I was kind of a little hot in the spirit at that time. That was before, I was kind of a little more fresher in the truth. You kind of had that zeal. But I can remember these motherfuckers, just Edomites, just being fucking Edomites, just being fucking wicked, man. So we had a system where, it was so many people working there. You would basically punch in, say like if you had a 6 o'clock in the morning shift, everybody on that shift would basically punch in at 53. Let's just say it like that, right? So you got 7 minutes, because this is how many people it is that's basically punching in, so to speak. But basically what you would do is, if you punched in at that 5:53, which would be, like 6, and you working like, whatever, you know what I'm saying, to your end of your shift, you would get off that 53-minute mark again, right? So you working your full 8 hours, 53 to 53, no matter what hour it was, If it was a 9 to 5, so to speak, you'll punch in at 8:53, and you will punch out at 4:53, basically, right? So what these Edomites had us doing was, they was like, well, they still wanted you to punch in at the 53 mark, but they wanted you to stay all the way until the 7 mark. So, or the full hour of it, you know what I'm saying, so to speak, so an extra 7 minutes. And so, I cut into them. I'm like, well, shit, if I'm doing that, I'm like, man, that's an extra motherfucking 35 minutes a week that you're not paying me for, and that went for all the other employees. So think of that was hours and hours and hours of pretty much you getting free time. And it was all Jake, free time. So I wrote this motherfucker a long ass letter. Them niggas, they pulled me up in the union. You had me sitting up, with the damn security. The guy was talking about how he felt threatened and all this other shit. I'm just explaining to him like, hey, look, man, shit, and one of the main security guards, he was like, well, I don't see anything threatening in this letter. He was the main security, top good, because it was that big of a meeting. Because, when these Edomites get to talking about they feel threatened, they get everybody involved. Fucking, the city captain, whoever the fuck, So, they ended up, finding a way to finally get me out of there. You know how they get, once they can't get you, they find little trickery, fuckery ways to try and get at you. Anyway, but yeah, they ended up getting rid of me. But guess what? Now I have a job where it's like, I don't even have nobody to even go and even punch in to. I'm all on my own and still get my 40 hours a week. You know what I'm saying? And I get my 40, but I really only work, if I work 10 hours out of a week, I'd be surprised. But I still get my 40. And I believe that the Lord, blessed me in that way, because that was seed sown of me actively, because it wasn't just about me. I was thinking about my people. I was going hard for the Israelites, which, you know what I'm saying, it was kind of like I said, I was a little more fresher and newer back then. I definitely wouldn't do no shit like that now, but, unless the Spirit hit me to do it. But I was just thinking, like, man, why the fuck is you, because it was only us. It was only Judites in there. I'm like, well, okay, you fucking us over. You getting 35 extra minutes a week out of all of us, and you're not paying us for it? We're here on time. We're doing what we're supposed to do, But anyway, that's Esau, man, and this place is falling, it's caving. And I just wanted to just kind of touch on this real quick, because, hey, this is the beauty of seeing your enemy fall. Fuck Austin and his partner and this 65-year-old talking about she can't, she had to take on a second nursing job, and your ass still possibly got traces of cancer. Yeah, good for your ass, man. So I'm going to end out there. I pray that this lesson was edifying. With that, Kwame Yasha, hey, continue on praying for the downfall of this place, man. Esau, Edom's kingdom, the end of this world. Things are pretty crappy. 1 in 4 U.S. households are living paycheck to paycheck. All praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Shalom.